That's not showing it. You know what? Hey, Kareem, I'm going to play this Malcolm X. While Malcolm talk, I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to get this,
Battery 40%.
I'm going to get this, the law. They say all law is commercial, and I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to quote it so Portia could put it in, and then I'm going to pull it up so y'all can see it. Because Malcolm is talking about... Yeah, so... we'll do some invites on here. That's not the right one. It's not the right one either. What's going on, Lex? I'm trying to share this shit. It ain't letting me share it. I can only tag people. Okay. I'm only gonna tag a few people. I'm just gonna scroll down. And whoever get tagged, get tagged. So, this is for the Facebook. I haven't been much on Facebook. I've been focused on Instagram. But I need to come back over here and focus on some updates over here, because them people on Instagram and these motherfucking parasitic leeches holding on for dear life is a motherfucker. So I'm gonna go down through these invites and we'll go over some a little short update. Hopefully it won't be too long. I'm gonna give y'all a little insight on what's been going on my Instagram page, because a lot of y'all, over here, y'all not on Instagram where I'm at, so I had to come over here and tell y'all about the cyber parade march for the 22nd, which is next Tuesday. And we're seeing a lot of what you would say participation across the land. Those who understand it is explaining it to some of the ones who don't understand it, but some of the ones that don't understand it is undermine or attempting to undermine progress in the process. We already know we always got some fakes and snakes in the mix, so we don't worry about them. We give everybody the opportunity to bump straight, and those don't get bumped straight get bumped the fuck off. And I'm not really in a good mood for this shit, because I seen some shit a few minutes ago that pissed me straight the fuck off. Same old motherfuckers coming in through the back door trying to start shit with the sisters. Anyway, this is critical for us to understand, so I'm going to take some questions in here. If y'all got any, y'all better post them in the comments, because I'm going to go through the comments looking for questions after I give a short invite. So today, that's enough. Today I done a video where somebody sent me a video of a sister that was talking about the Free Larry Hoover movement, and from a perspective of pure and utter ignorance. And so, giving her the opportunity to ask any questions that she want to, she clapped back and said, no thank you. She don't want no parts of this shit. Which means that tell me, fuck her and the horse she rode in on. And she ain't part of what's going on. But when she find out I'm right, ain't enough ass kissing on earth to make me deal with her when you don't give me the opportunity to tell you what I'm talking about and to answer your questions because you got your mind made up to follow the motherfucking imposters and they motherfucking false leads. And then you want to accuse other people that you don't know shit about because they don't want to see us standing up on the land reclaiming our shit. Shit is global. We only worried about the tip of the iceberg. The tip of the iceberg is this. Free Larry Hoover is not about one individual. It's not even about getting somebody out of an unjust prison sentence at this point. It's the battle cry for all of the organic and originals on the land to know who the chiefs is on the land. You should be able to watch, Asia, but okay. Okay, Lakeisha McCullough want to know more of what it's about. So I'm going to give a recap because she's new to it and she haven't been exposed to the knowledge. We over here have been in a perpetual state of war for over 500 years since Columbus brought conquistadors to the shores of the Americas. In the process of this long, drawn-out, protracted struggle, they occupied the territory with a legal fiction, a corporation that was acting as interim government called the United States. Also, all of those other governments are de facto, which means when you say here de facto, that means they acting like they legal, but they not really legal. When you hear the term de jure mean the actual legal people, regardless of what the de facto say, meaning the ones that belong. So when we talking about the Free Larry Hoover 2022 agenda, we had to find a way to reclaim our sovereign rights to the land, to restore the land, restore the water, restore the airways, and restore the people, raise a matriarchal system. This is where we lose people because don't nobody want to see these women in power because all these gelded horses running around pretending to be men are scared that the woman is going to treat them the way that they've been treating the women. That's not how matriarchy operate. But the Larry Hoover situation is tied to us using what we call our own culture, which is an oral tradition. Under the oral tradition, whoever discovers something wrong on the land, if it affects everybody on the land, then he has to find the most far-reaching public platform. In this case, is social media. Then he have to vex the grievance, identify the problem, and offer the simplest solution possible to resolve the matter. For us to reclaim our birthright, we have to prove that we're not 3/5 of a human. Because the 3/5 doctrine is predicated upon us, what we call being a Dred Scott slave. The Dred comes from the Scottish Rite who holds the corporate charter for the United States Corporation. And they are de facto. The United States Corporation is, nor has it ever been, our true government. Though they operated in the capacity of government, but that was due to our personal ignorance of our own culture, our old ways before the invaders came, and how we conducted business. So when we're talking about the Free Larry Hoover, this is going back to our ancient culture where I identified the problem, the simplest solution in order to show that we're not imbeciles in law, because the Pope claimed our souls because he said we were incompetent to administer our own affairs, and therefore we couldn't take care of our souls correctly. So he did it by papal bull. That's not difficult to locate. But I already did videos on all that stuff if you have to go back and look. So now it comes to a culmination of events that lead to us inserting our oral traditions back into active status, which is the law of the land, not the law of the seas. The law of the high sea is the law that is allocated by the Pope, which is known as the Papal See, right? So the high seas is the high seat of the Pope, who is assuming, notice the word assuming is done deliberately because it doesn't mean in law what it means in the common language. But he's assuming jurisdiction over a people that he's claiming will never figure out who the fuck they are. So while this is taking place, you have these people called conquistadors that look like us. And they call themselves Jacobins, they call themselves Moorish Zionist Jews, etc. And their job and their purpose is to make us never know who we are so we can abandon our shit so that they could assume the competent jurisdiction when there is no competent relative available. So I tell the problem to the public ad nauseum, repeatedly, for 3 years. I'm telling everybody what the problem and the solution is. The only solution is for us to return back to our oral tradition and demand the caretakers of the land, which we call high chiefs, to present themselves to the public so that they can explain to us the condition of the land, who's been doing the dirt, where's the dirty hand hidden. Now, all these things I answered, but it's not the same when it's coming from the chief. All of the chiefs across the land sit at a round table. The chairman of the board right now is Larry Hoover. That makes him the spokesman or the statesman who carries the message from the round table of the chiefs on the land. Everybody got equal input, no big I's, no little U's. And then he explained to you what the problem is, what the solution is if it haven't been implemented, who behind the dirt, where they at now, and have we got rid of them. The only way we could see Larry is first we had to get rid of the rogue elements. So in order to activate the military to work on the behalf of us, we have to use the oral tradition and call forth the chiefs of the land. And according to the Indigenous Rights Act of the United Nations, the Indigenous Rights Act of the United States, continuity of government, FEMA transitional powers, FEMA short for female. All of these things are in process as we speak. Now, they believe that us, as a collective, none of us is going to believe what I'm telling y'all, and we going to lose everything because we not going to step up and speak up and join on to the Free Larry Hoover agenda because we're going to have our own selfish greeds, delusions, false informations, and people who have misled us interfering with the process. But as long as they can't murder me, I done showed and proved every fucking thing I'm saying. No half-truths, right? I done showed and proved it. Now, you don't have to believe nothing I say. But I advise or request that you do your own research for anywhere where you in the dark or simply ask the question, right? So this is what the Free Larry Hoover movement is about, restoring the organic people to the land. We not talking about Native American $5 Indians. We talking about motherfuckers with this shit. right? That they call black cotton. That's what we talking about, right? So hopefully that gave you Lakeisha, hopefully that gave you a good foundation from where we at, so you can answer in the comments if that was sufficient enough to explain it to you. So any more questions, I will gladly answer any questions that pop up because I ain't got nothing to hide and I ain't running, right? So this is where we at in the struggle. Thank you, sweetie. I'm glad to be able to answer your questions sufficiently. Do we individually have to do the paperwork for this or no paperwork? Under our oral tradition, we didn't use paperwork. They used paperwork to establish something that they call a paper chain. The paper chain works by using adhesion contracts. You should look that up in the legal dictionary, adhesion contract. To use an adhesion contract to deceive you into signing a piece of paper. Any paperwork you sign with a fake government proves you're an imbecile in law. Without doubt or contradiction, you don't know who you are. When you understand, so the 3/5 is broke up into 5 parts, right? And the first 3 parts is what we call lower aspects of self. Your body, your emotions, and your mental. But you're not activated in the spirit and you're not activated in the soul. So you only operating on your lower 3/5 of the self. The upper 2/5 is spirit and soul, right? Or what we call silver key, gold key. The silver key is what we call your moon body or your light body. The gold key is what we call your inner light or your soul light or your solar light. They represented the silver key by moon magic. They represent the gold key by astrology. By putting the two together, you learn how to read the stars based off events on the ground, and then you begin to see the repeating pattern on the ground, and then you know how they know who to murder. So they tried to murder me many times. I just couldn't get killed in the street because I didn't want to piss my mom off telling me that your stupid ass got shot dead in the street. Because she used to tell me the worst thing your dumb ass can do is get shot dead in the street because that wouldn't make no fucking sense to nobody. That was before she got in the church when she was just getting in good. As I got older, she used to say that don't be in the streets because if you live by the gun, you die by the gun. Well, I don't live by the gun, but I sure will carry that motherfucker. But the gun is not my can of man, my artificial courage, right? I will box your ass all night from sun up to sundown. We will stand toe to toe and box as long as you can take it. I can take it, right? So I never lived by the gun. I never needed that for false courage. But when I started encountering people who was so ego-driven with the lower 3/5 that they only sense of self is to shoot a motherfucker because they scared to fight. They cowards, and they don't got no spine and no backbone, and then they can't think. Most of the motherfucking shootings in our community is orchestrated by people that's not from our community, and they go home. Right? They not from our community and they go home. It's always a motherfucker in there stirring up some shit when peaceful people trying to gather. Watch that motherfucker. He don't mean you no good, don't mean me no good. I don't say Larry is the spokesman for the earth. I don't call Larry a savior. This is how I explain it to people. There are tribes on the land. We know who we are and who our tribes are. All of the tribes are in on it. And Larry being paid his fucking dues with 50 years of penitentiary time. Right? and being victimized by COINTELPRO was selected to be the spokesperson for the collective of the chieftains of the land. That don't make him the spokesman for Earth. That make him the spokesman for the round table. And the round table is the collection of the chiefs across the land. When we break us free, then we have other people waiting to make alliances that will not make alliances with us as long as we are occupied territory. Lucky St. Clair, I'm glad you brought up that you thought Larry Hoover was a gang member. Now, if you understand that COINTELPRO job was to remove the leadership from our communities, and that everything they're calling a gang is a tribe, then you will understand what we dealing with. And Larry Hoover he's not a gangbanger. That's not his mentality. And